our founders envisioned.
And joining us now is Democratic Congressman Gregory Meeks of New York, who for once joins us in the studio. Thank you for joining us, Congressman. We understand that the laws, the rules that apply and regulations that apply to filibusters in the Senate do not apply or pertain to the House. But I have to ask you, what did you think of the President calling out the kind of obstructionism that he's basically been the victim of for 5 years?
That he's had enough. I think it's clear from his tone. He's been conciliatory. He's reached out. He's tried to do everything that he could to make sure things worked in a bipartisan way. And at every step of the way, they have obstructed. He's had enough. And it is time, and I'm proud of him, to say that we're going to move this country forward. You know, we've got a system, and, you know, Mr. McConnell, from the day that he was inaugurated, the day that President Obama was inaugurated, said we're going to stop this president. We're going to utilize obstructionist tactics to make sure that he's not successful. The president, despite that, tried to be conciliatory.
But many people hearing you would say that you ran for office yourself in order to make a genuine constructive contribution to the well-being of the nation and its citizens. What does it feel like to be in a House where you cannot do anything?
That's the problem. It is frustrating. I was talking to a colleague of mine just yesterday. We were leaving a committee meeting where they were trying to actually dismember the Consumer Financial Protection Board.
Yeah, I know
and so we
committee.
were talking to ourselves saying, what the heck is going on here? And we're not doing anything. We spent all day yesterday in committee, part of this morning, for what? For nothing. Trying to do with dismember a bureau that was put in place to help consumers. They've not done anything of a constructive nature in the last 5.5 years other than trying to stop what has been passed and is the law of the land.
And of course that really does relate to the lives of citizens who were ripped off and fraudulently sold nonsensical mortgages and then ended up losing their houses.
And, you know, what we pride ourselves in America is, you know, consumer goods. You know, we make sure that we have inspections for food, making sure that consumers, you know, one of the things that we've done better than most nations is to protect our consumers. What we found out a few years ago that was not taking place in the financial services area, and so therefore we now have the consumers' protections rights and the bureau, so that we can make sure that we protect consumers. This is a good thing to do, but yet they don't like the law, so they're trying to dismantle it.
Okay, well, consumer protection applies to everyone. Let's talk about immigration for a moment. And I'd like you to listen to something that Speaker John Boehner said today about whether comprehensive immigration reform is dead. And I'd like to get your reaction. Take a listen.
Let me answer the first question. Is immigration reform dead? Absolutely not.
That's news to me.
It's new. Listen, I don't see where they're doing anything to move forward with a comprehensive immigration.
What's he talking about?
I mean, has he appointed any individuals or to a conference, pass a bill so that we can do immigration, so we can have a conference with the Senate? No. It all lies in his hand. The Senate have done their business. What are you doing, Mr. Speaker? When are you going to move forward with a bill?
But you just heard him. He said he's not stopping comprehensive immigration reform.
He absolutely is. Who else? He's the Speaker. He won't allow it on the floor. He's told his chairman not to go forward with it. So, you know, he speaks with forked tongue.
He does, sadly. You and several House colleagues overseas, in fact, you're going to Brussels, then you're going on to Berlin. You're probably going to be asked some difficult questions about spying, because we've heard Angela Merkel has been spied upon, the French and indeed the British Prime Minister and the British Parliament have discussed this issue as well. What do you plan to say to assuage their little bit of anger about what's been going on?
Look, the world is much smaller than it used to be. And I'm sure that there's spying that's done by everyone. But the strengths that bind us is stronger than this incidents that we're talking about. And we need to look at some of the protocols and some of the rules and talk with our allies and work things out. But we've got to make sure that we stay together, because when we fight terrorism, we do that together. When we trade or, you know, creating jobs for both the Americans and for our allies over in Europe. That's important. So there's so many things that we've got to do collectively together, and we shouldn't allow something, because of new technology. There's new technology, and the President of the United States is on top of it and reviewing it. But we've got to make sure that we're pushing moving forward.
There's a great irony, isn't there? You'll probably be more effective when you're outside of this country than you have been able to be in the House of Representatives itself. Sad. Congressman Gregory Meeks, thank you, sir. Still ahead.